This is the render review for the Medieval Blender Challenge. I think this is about Blender Challenge 23. I can't believe we've done so many of these things, and I've seen so much Blender artwork. Alrighty, so we're going to start with the participants, and then I'll show you some of my renders. I've already showed them, but I'll show them again and talk a little bit about them. Alright, so again, the theme is medieval, and anything goes for this. You can do a scene, you can do a single object, anything that you think fits into the topic of medieval. So here we have some medieval houses and a little environment here. And what I didn't notice before actually was this mountain here. Anyway, so this person has decided to do two houses, and on this landscape, this wide open area. This looks great. Now I'm not sure where the trees come from, but it doesn't really matter as long as your main objects are modeled in Blender. And you can texture in Blender, you can texture somewhere else. So this is a beautifully done modeled and textured scene of these two houses. And I know it takes a lot of work because of course I did it as well. Alright, so we switch from a daytime scene over to a nighttime scene, and this is actually where I noticed the mountain when I was looking at this because it's a slightly different angle. But this is really cool too at the top of this hill. My dogs would just love this environment, and so would I. This is really nice with the fire here and the little reflection off of the water and the lights on inside. Very nice. And here's another close-up view of that. So these Blender challenges are just fascinating because you don't just provide a final render, you do works in progress along the way. So we get to see these things being modeled, and people are showing their work and getting tips from each other and sometimes from me. And it's just really interesting to see how they progress to the final product. And you know, really aren't they beautiful? I love these windows. Look at that glass texture. Yeah, so really nice. And here's another person's take on the medieval theme, and you can see elements of what I did because I usually model. I mean, not usually, I always do. I show a lot of my process in the challenge as well, and so you can see elements of my design, and then people like to often take them in their own direction and add their own touch, and that's what this person has done here. I mean, I may have done a window like this and my boards like this, and I've done a lantern, but this person has designed their own. And that's what I really love about that. So another nice scene populated with vegetation, similar to what I had done, but with their own individual take. And there's a lot of little details here. We'll zoom in and we'll see some of that in a bit. Let's do that. So you can see this is, you know, this is another version of a lantern. Of course, if you're going to have a medieval house scene, you're gonna have lanterns, but another version of that. And yeah, some really nice design. I mean, instead of going for some kind of straight walls, look at what this person has done. You know, this is certainly a different door design than I had. Yeah, so. And I was looking at this earlier, and though I did a wheelbarrow, this person has made a different wheelbarrow. And look, there's an axe over there. I hadn't noticed the axe. And I did a wooden barrel, and this person did a different wooden barrel. So I think maybe I give a few ideas, and then people say, hey, yeah, I think I'm going to have a wheelbarrow. I think I'm going to have a bucket. And they do their own thing. And now we switch over to the night view. This is probably my favorite of this person's work with the stars and the moon. There's a lot of stars out there that you could certainly see up there on this hill or on this island floating in space, depending on how you look at it. Okay, even these stairs, I mean, of course, out in the elements, they would be something like that. They wouldn't be perfectly straight. So this person has put a lot of attention to detail. And then if you've got kids, they're going to need something to climb on. There would be a perfect tree. All right, if you fall from this, it's not too far to the ground, although you got the rocks there. But you know, you can climb up the tree, you can swing on there. I think I have another one with that tree. Yeah, another one just a little bit more distant. The stars are a little bit less visible there, but you can see the glow from the lanterns. And that tree, and there is that tree. So you've got the swing. My kids would love that. It's not too far from the ground, so tied up with a rope and the little steps going up. So yeah, very cute scene, very nice. When you do the challenges, you don't have to, like I say, do a complete scene. You can just do individual items, something that makes you think of the theme or the topic, medieval. In this case, this person did this. I guess this is a type of shield, but that's just beautiful sculpting work. I believe that's sculpting work, to create this and doing it in this monotone kind of noir, look is really neat. So I think that stands just on its own. Very, very nice work. I love this wing and the spines on the dragon. It's gorgeous. And here we have the Knights of the Round Table with this volumetric fog, and of course these are, I guess, open windows, and the light is streaming through. And this is where they would all sit, and we have a number of renders, and that's the other thing. Pretty much in the challenges, you can provide as many renders as you need to get your point across. You can't always see everything from one angle, and so we'll get these multiple views. Look at that one. That's just gorgeous with the sun streaming in, and going onto the table with the decor work on the back of the chairs. And then of course you've got the flags up there. So let's have another view. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the kind of thing that you would see in a movie that's very cinematic. And the swords all pointing towards the center, right opposite the chairs. That's a really cool idea. All right, so just multiple views of that. Yeah, the window work. These are such nice windows, and it looks really good with the volumetric light, or the god rays coming through with the brickwork. And again, people will do creative things, and they'll do something that you didn't expect, and none of the other entries are going to be like this. And this person says, I'm going to make some kind of a medieval mushroom house. And doesn't that look cute? And the grass is gorgeous, and a little path coming up to the door leading into the little mushroom house. And I guess this stuff is wafting out from the windows, and who knows what exactly that is, but it's going to be magical. All right, look at the smokestack or chimney or whatever that is exactly. Yeah, that's so cute. And that's what I love about these challenges, the originality. And here we have another medieval house on something floating in the atmosphere, floating in space, floating in the sky. And I really like the whimsical look of that. I like that style very much. And just the lighting of this is a very neutral kind of, not imposing light. All right, and we'll zoom in and we'll see some of the details on this. The colored flowers and the grass that's a little bit long. It reminds me of warm, late summer days, although that's not exactly what time it would be based on the sun, but from the gate with the lock on it, and the little details here, the hanging lantern with what looks like a little piece of broken glass, and just very, very nice colors and a nice composition with wood that is weathered and worn. It's just, yeah, another very, very nice submission. Makes me feel warm, but then this person decided they wanted to see what it would look like with some snow on it. Isn't that cool? So now it looks very cold, but still, and they've even thought of the fact that the grass is gone, and probably I may have thought to just throw some white stuff on top of it, but the grass is now gone on the deck, and you've got a shovel here, and you got little piles of snow and a little pile of hay. It when you see the final image, you just go, yeah, oh yeah, of course, but it takes a lot of thought to come up with what you would need to make a convincing image. And that's what these challenges are so great for. Usually, you have a reasonable length of time, usually around 3 weeks to do this, because everybody is busy, whether they're going to school or working or they have kids or whatever whatever the time constraint might be. And it takes time to sit down and do Blender and do materials and come up with an idea. And some people want to follow me and other people don't. And obviously this person didn't. Yeah, and then of course we got to have some night scenes. And there are a few with night scenes, but again, it's sort of centering around this medieval house that I know I started, and I guess a few people watched it and said, I'm going to do different things to this. And so we have that style post with the lantern on there, and we have the fruits, whatever, and yeah, that's just really nice. And zooming in on the lantern, you can in fact see that some of that glass is broken, and the wood looks worn. It looks like a real place. And this is how you use volumetrics. What I find so interesting about this is, at first glance, you don't even notice that there's another structure out here, whatever that might be. And then I found myself looking in the distance for what can I find. But you've got some glowing plants, and that reminds me of what I did, and I'll show you mine later. And I think that's really cool that this person has decided to include them. Sort of take my original concept again and build on that, and create something that looks really, really nice and convincing. And even this guy there too. So the textures in this image are great. I really think they're really, really good. All right, we have another really nice medieval house with a nice lawn. We have a cart here. I certainly didn't design that cart. And in particular, this doorknob, I want to look at that later. That looks really nice. We've got the lanterns up on hooks. A really interesting shade of wood up here. Used, repeatedly to keep that theme going. So let's have another look. Look at this door, just beautiful with the wooden dowels or the wooden posts there, and some metal. A nice design here, and that lion's head with the ring coming through there. That's great. The barrels, the stool, and the ladder. And welcome to your medieval house out in the middle of the field. Hey, those look like cell phone towers. Oh, I don't know. Wouldn't that be cute if they were? That's beautiful too. And a nice angle too. You've got some stuff in the foreground, and that's a good idea to have in your renders, foreground and stuff then in the distance as well. And then we've got the obligatory well, although not too many people did a well. And the bucket and the picnic table around the back. And you've got a little wispy stream coming through here with the bridge coming over, and a couple of structures. One again similar to what I did, but not exactly the same. And then another one that's got some modifications to it. So just excellent work. Now this one is one of my favorite. I just like I feel like I'm in the shadow of the tree in behind the house. Now you can see the well, and you can see the wood pile in behind, and you can see the little glow on the wood and the glass reflections, and then the river over here. So yeah, if this was a slow river, not a fast moving river or anything, my dogs would just love this place. And my kids love daisies, so really nice daisies to pick. From the sloping roofs to the sculpted chimney, instead of, or maybe using displacement. I'm not quite sure how that was done. And of course the wispy environment, the fog, the mist. And there's a lot of detail here, from the wood pile and this ladder to the door over here with the hanging lanterns, and look at these windows with the dirt in the corner. So there's a lot of details on here that sell the image, and this style gable, or maybe that's a bit of a window, or the attic up there. I guess there's another one there, so I guess that's what that is. But really a great design and color scheme as well. We're going to have another look at this one. zooming in. So now you can see the detail. These are different lanterns than the ones I did, and different doors, and just beautiful design. And again, the dirt and debris that goes on these windows, and the pieces of wood there, and everything really is just it all ties together because of the way that it's made. In terms of having dirt or grime, then it's all going to have that, or dust. And if it's going to be white, like dust type stuff or scraped off paint, then it's all going to be like that. And it is on this image. So again, I saw this image progress, and we see the final result here, with the lighting and all of the materials, and it comes together. And that's what the challenges are for, to watch them progress, if at all possible, and to see a final result that you can be proud of, that fits the theme. And that's why it's a challenge. Somebody says, okay, make something in this theme. And we've done lots of challenges. This is the medieval challenge. We've done a haunted hospital challenge, a horror movie challenge, isometric design. We've done spy. We've done weapon. All these things, and people come up with their own idea, or they watch me and they modify it from there. And here's a view of the medieval house in the dark, all right, with the lanterns on and a little bit of light inside from different angles. So it's very nice. And this person decided they want to focus, I think, on an entranceway, on a door, and try it in different light with maybe different materials and with some fire. So let's have a look at that, because there's some very interesting door details here. All right, so here we go. I mean, the wood is a beautiful wood pattern here, but look at the modeling on this, on the door, parts of the door here, and where the key goes, and this part. I just think it looks really, really top notch. And this is not the door that I designed by any means. Then we got the stones around here, and even on the torches here, you can see how they're attached. So there's a lot of detail again in this, and we have a couple of other views of this with different lighting. And we've got some fire here, and I think in the next one you'll see the fire as well. That's nice. That's something I haven't really done much with, so I'll have to do some more fire sometime. This person is giving me some ideas, and not everybody has time to do all that much. And so this person said, look, this is all I can contribute, but I was already thinking this was great, because these books look old and weathered, and they just look fantastic. I really like the books, and just the texturing job on this furniture. All right, it's not fancy, it's not shiny, and that's a pitfall that I fell into early on in using Blender or using Lightwave. I used to use Lightwave 3D. Is the shiny thing, because kids are attracted to things that are shiny, and I guess so are we. And at first we think, wow, everything's got to be shiny like metal, but in reality a lot of things are not very shiny, and so this person has stuck with that. But where you do get shine, you get that on certain parts of this leather, and so this makes sense. All right, so we got the hanging garlic and the spoon of some sort. We got some cloth going on here on a leather little stool. And then we got the chest here, the drawers, bookcase, and we have a little medieval style hanging poster of sorts, flag. Here's another medieval house, similar in some ways to what I did, but actually probably more different than it is similar. All right, from the shape of the thing to the stairs and to the lanterns and everything in this environment here with all these different pieces. So I'm very interested to see what would happen if you came up these stairs, what you would see from here. If you could look inside this one, let's see if we have another view. No, that's a different one. So all right, so here we have another house with a sloping roof. Very, very nice intricate details on this as well. Hanging lantern on a little log here. We even have sort of a cartoony, what looks like a cartoony effect on either the whole image or on the background, maybe with that smoke there. So artistic. All right, and the old man coming up the stairs. Here's another view of that one. This is my favorite of that series there, just because of the way the environment is and the lighting and the way these windows are. The lighting behind that's just beautiful, and the smoke looks nice and warm and inviting, and it's really cool. Yeah. I did a wheelbarrow, and this person decided that they wanted to model a wheelbarrow as well, make a couple of changes, and put it out in a field. I mean, this looks like a photograph, doesn't it? But it isn't. And of course, there's a well in behind, but just really nice materials on this, really nice wood, and very convincing. Essentially, it's photographic, and that perfectly fits the theme of medieval as well. And again, you don't have to do a full scene. You can do individual objects that fit. And this person did a shield with some very, very nice textures and what looks to be quite a unique design. I love this wood, and I love this metal. I think it looks great. And with the emission there and these things poking through, that's really cool. And here's another one. So just to show you that it's fine to do a single object. You don't have to do a scene. And sometimes the object just gets the point across better than the scene, when you're trying to think of, does this all fit? Here we have this sword with just a very, very nice design. That's beautiful. And the texturing and the artistic aspect to this is really cool. All right, I mean, if I was interested in Hollywood movies these days, it would remind me of some Hollywood movie. So I don't know, though. And I guess this is my stuff now as well. And I've shown these before. I've got my medieval scene sort of floating in space. And yeah, so we've got the house. And I modeled most of the house on camera in the video series, as well as the lanterns and the merchant stand and all these pieces. And, these glowing plants are supposed to be some kind of a medicinal thing or whatever, magical, mystical. So I've got my little bridge in behind, and I've got my river flowing from one side to the other, from nowhere into nowhere. So yeah, we'll have a couple of looks at this. All right, so that's what I generally do during these challenges. I announce a challenge, and people can do what I do, or they can get ideas from it, and or just do something completely different. So it's a challenge for me as well. Yeah, so anyways, I've got a bunch of fruits on the ground. I've got a little merchant stand here and various objects and debris and stuff like that. And that's my medieval scene. So there's various views of that throughout here. Okay, yeah, my medieval house and well. And that's the back there with the storm doors and the well. So that's it for the medieval challenge. Very impressed with everybody's work and with everybody's work ethic. And of course, we're on another Blender challenge, and it might be 23, it might be 24. It's everyday objects. So people have been submitting their whips and a lot of final renders. And I'm done that one. And as soon as we wrap it up in a few days or in a week or so, I will make a render review and I will showcase everybody's work. And then we're on to the next challenge. All right, so hopefully you'll join one of these challenges. It's on the Zero Bio Discord, and you can watch my videos here as well. All right, so thank you very much, everybody who participated, and thank you very much, everybody who's watching this.